Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, what are you doing down there? On this episode, we're going to start playing around with our intake manifolds and getting our wiring sorted. Alright, so we're onto our plenums now. Our friend Derek from DJZ Fabrications has been kind enough to help us out with doing up these nice box sections for the plenums. As you'll notice, the other plenums currently off getting fabricated as we speak. So at the moment we're just going to see where our throttle bodies are going to fit and start marking it out and getting ready to cut it all up. We're using a pair of Ford EL Falcon throttles, just something basic, cheap and easy. It'll do the job and work how we intend it to. We eyeball the location of the throttle bodies and mark it on the plenum so it can be cut and tacked up to test fit before final welding.
Shut up and sit down.
We mark the outlines of our throttle bodies onto some 10mm alloy plate so we can make the flange plates for the plenums. No garage? What's that doing here? We're too upper class for that. We're driving Lexuses. With our plates marked out, we cut them to size and then drill and tap the threads for the throttle body bolts. Finally, we hole saw the centre hole for the throttle opening. Now it's time to move on to our wiring. Because the 1GZ isn't a common engine, ECU pin-out diagrams are much harder to find. We go to work with our multimeter and trace back each pin we need to run the engine. We label each plug to ensure it is easy to locate a specific pin and draw diagrams of the plugs so that we can later compile the information into our own ECU pinout. We then start to cut the wires away from their factory plug and terminate them with a new pin to suit the Haltech. We pin each individual pin into the Haltech plug one pin at a time to ensure we don't get any wires mixed up. Because of the layout of the factory dual ECU arrangement, we need to strip back the wiring loom to get to the plugs going to the second ECU for the driver's side bank. The wiring is a pretty long and boring process, so we've sped it up as much as we can. Alright, so while we've been busy getting our wiring loom sorted, Derek's tacked up the plenums, got our throttle bodies mounted on there, even flipped these cams for the throttle cables around the opposite direction so that they will now pull from the inside rather than pull from the front. And it's all starting to look a bit more like an engine. So stay tuned for our next episode because we've got to do our fuel system, our exhaust manifolds, and finish off the wiring.
Shut up and sit down.